everyone. It is 1 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us today for our June provider meeting. We had a wonderful time at the provider appreciation. We're going to get into that. First things first, you may note that it says the next provider meeting is July 23rd in person. Hello, in person, live here at the Coalition, 1 o'clock p.m. And Hero Awards and ASQ Champion Certificates will be given out. What is that, you say? Well, that is what brings me to our provider appreciation winners. Our ASQ champions, we actually had close to a little over 60 ASQ champions. And I have, this is an example of the certificate and a magnet that they got at our provider appreciation. And we were so happy to have everyone there that was there. There were some people who couldn't make it though, and for that, we're going to pass out those awards. This is for those who completed their ASQs and stayed in compliance all year long. And then we also have somebody's missing their glasses, and these are our wonderful sponsors who, thanks to them, we were able to do the provider appreciation and provide the food and the gifts and stuff. And these are our heroes and ASQ champions. As you can see, there's a lot of ASQ champions who completed their ASQs all year long within compliance, and we plan on giving them certificates for that in recognition. And then we also have our Class Act Awards and our Child Assessment Champions. And I will show you those pictures. Here we go. Hopefully it's not gonna, there's what the certificate looks like in a magnet. And here we go. Trying to get the picture to come up for the Hero Awards. There we go. And there is our beautiful Hero Awards. Did everybody see that this time? Thank you so much. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. And I do have a question already. Someone's asking me for the website for the Educator Academy. We'll get to that in just a moment. Janet, if you could put that in the chat, please. All right. And
it is in the chat.
Okay, thank you so much. All right. So next on, so I just wanted to congratulate our winners, and I hope to see you guys in July so we can hand you your awards and your certificates in person. With that being said, we do have Miss Waters from Child Development Services who would like to share during our partner updates. And let me make sure, Miss Lasagna, yes, Miss Lasagna Waters, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Go for it.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Lily and the team for allowing me this opportunity to meet with you guys. It's a mandate that I meet at least annually with you all just to make sure that you all know what's happening with state training. By the way, I'm Lasonia Waters with the DCF Training Coordinator with Circuit 5, and I'm with Childhood Development Services, which means I cover Marion, Lake Sumter, Citrus, and Hernando counties. So what we're required to do is the state mandated training. And for some reason, that's something you guys just cannot get past. You can't escape go when it comes to the state mandated training. I know I'm preaching to the choir because most of you have your training, but anytime you hire new staff, that sort of thing, they all have to go through the training. And so everything now is pretty much done online, registering for courses, registering for exams, paying for courses, paying for exams, ordering training materials, that sort of thing. Everything is done online. We just want to make sure that you're not having a difficult time finding what you need. And we also want to make sure that all of the exam sessions and all of the training sessions are meeting your need. The training sessions, we still do instructor-led courses. However, since COVID, the instructor-led courses definitely still are not making. So most people are doing the online courses. Now, how successful they are with online courses, I'm not sure. I see a lot of people are having to retake exams, but then some people pass in the first round. So having the option of taking instructor-led courses is still available, but they are not making, so we just want to let you know. And probably so because online courses are $10, instructor-led courses are $40 and more. So that might be one reason as well. And then online courses, you get to do them at your convenience. So if they're working for your team or your staff, that is great. We just want to remind you. But with online courses, the 45 days, once they begin, is the deadline to complete it. So they still have that 45-day window to complete an online course once they begin it. Now, if they pay for it and they never start it, once they start, then the clock starts ticking. Okay. Exam sessions. We're required still to do exams at least twice, 2 Saturdays out of every month in one of the counties. So we are in 3 of the counties, Marion Lake and Hernando counties. Right now, we're kind of limited with our spaces due to some DCF going through major renovation, that sort of thing. But we still are offering exams, double sessions in some counties to make sure we have enough exam sessions so that everyone's needs can be met. But with the exam sessions, even though most of them are full, we still have a lot of absentees. So a lot of people are still not showing up for the exam session. Just keep in mind that when you register for exams, you have to do that 7 days in advance. And everything is done online now. So that 7-day window is the deadline for any changes to occur as well. So if you need to drop out of an exam course, you're locked in after that 7-day window. And you have to do it, or they have to do it themselves, go online to enroll, unenroll, that sort of thing. What they want to be mindful of is just that when they do register for a course online, that they're cautious and they're registering for the course that they need, because there are no refunds. They have to sign off, check off, knowing that they are registering for the course that they selected. And once they do that, then if they didn't select the right course, then they're just going to have to go back in and register and pay again for the correct course. So they just need to be mindful of that. Any questions there? Any questions, guys? No. Exams, we're still offering them in English, Spanish, and now Creole. The exams are now available in Creole. And for any other languages, they're welcome to utilize a translation dictionary if need be. If English, Spanish, or Creole is not their first language, then they can utilize a translation dictionary if need be. All of that has to be approved in advance so that when they bring in the material, the dictionary, it has to be reviewed to make sure that it's clear of any markings or anything. We also continue to do special accommodation exam sessions for anyone needing or requiring special accommodation, meaning needing the exam read to them, needing extended time, or needing anything to accommodate them during a regular exam session that's not allowed during a regular exam session based on a physical need, a disability, that sort of thing. All of those are considered special accommodations. So all of that has to be approved in advance. So we do have quite a few people that are requesting the special accommodations, and we are here to accommodate. We want to make sure everyone's needs are met so that they are successful. We always let individuals know that no matter how many times they take an exam, the only way they can truly fail is to quit, because they can take it as many times as they desire until they are successful. Now, I always tell them that if after 3 chances, then you may want to consider retaking the course, because then it becomes pretty costly. And therefore, we don't want to see that happen. So we want to make sure that everyone's needs are met, and we go from there. Also, the annual training, that's still a requirement, of course, you guys know. So DCF has quite a few courses or quite a few trainings online that individuals can take just in case. But you guys have more than enough training, because your Early Learning Coalition provide lots of opportunities for you as well as your staff. So if there's anything that we're not doing as the state training coordinating agency, please let us know so that we can enhance the quality of our services. But that's mainly why I have to meet with you guys every year, just to make sure and touch bases with you to make sure we are meeting your needs. Are there
And we
any
appreciate
questions?
that. I don't see any questions at this time, but if something comes up and you want to hang out just in case a question comes later, you can feel free to do that, Ms. Waters.
Okay, I will do so, but thank you guys for the opportunity once again. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. And Creo, is that new? I think that's new.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Creo is new.
That's
Based on
wonderful.
based on census data, that was the next language that weighed in the most. So Creole is available in Creole.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
All right. And next on our list, we're going to keep on moving. All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about is summer breaks spots. This is in your handouts. I'm scrolling down a little fast, forgive me. But as of Wednesday, June 4th, dozens of schools and other local facilities across Marion County are offering free breakfast and lunch to all children 18 years of age and younger. The handout has a list of all the schools and the dates and specific information. If you have any questions about it, though, I would encourage you to reach out to the district. So just a little information to share about what some of our partners are doing, including the school district. Another partner of ours is the Florida Grade Level Reading Campaign, and they have this wonderful resource called the Book Smart Summer Bingo Game, and that packet is also in the handouts. And as you can see, there's some chance to win a bunch of books and some opportunities here. If you would like to share that with your parents and those opportunities, check that out. Okay. And our next, the libraries are feeding the children as well, and also at Shores Assembly. Thank you for sharing that, which is across from Greenway Elementary, in case anybody's wondering. Thank you so much for sharing that. So let me check and make sure if there's any other questions. Nope. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and let me make sure. Miss Latricia Sims, are you ready to share your update? You should be self-muted, I think. Okay, try to say something now. It says you're self-muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. As a follow-up to last month's meeting, the coalition has received additional guidance from the Division of Early Learning regarding the change with parent co-payments. Effective July 1st, families who newly enroll into the school readiness program will be assessed co-payments with the new threshold percentage. Any families that are currently receiving services prior to July 1st will continue to pay their assessed parent co-payments that have been assigned as it reflects on their parent payment certificate. So, as the families are redetermining their child care services on or after July 1st, the new threshold percentage will be applied at that time. It is very important that you pay close attention to the payment certificates. Again, the family sizes will no longer be a factor in assessing parent co-payments. Due to the amended federal regulations, the assessed parent fee does not exceed 7% of a family's income. So this is a family's gross income and not their net income. We can't. There are certain deductions that we're allowed to make, but it is typically based off of the family's gross income. Only one child within the household will be assessed a copayment for the entire family. DEL has encouraged coalitions to assess the copayment to the child with the highest cost of care. Therefore, the youngest child receiving school readiness services will be assessed a parent copayment, and each additional child's copay will reflect the zero copayment on their payment certificate. If there's more than one child with the same birth date and age, the copay will be assigned to the youngest child first in alphabetical order. Are there any questions so far, Lily?
Not so far.
Okay. When a child is enrolled with more than one provider, if that child is assessed a parent copayment, that provider where the child attends the most will receive the parent copay. The copayment that is associated with the child will be deducted from the monthly reimbursement for the provider that collects the copayment. The provider that is not required to collect the copay will be reimbursed based on the authorized hours of care that the child is eligible for and will receive a full reimbursement from the coalition. So there are 4 documents that will be made available for you. The one on the screen is the School Readiness Required Parent Copayment at a Glance. It just provides a side-by-side comparison of how the copayments were assessed prior to July 1st and how the copayments will be assessed on or after July 1st. There's also the frequently asked questions, which reflects only the components of the rule change for 6M4.4-400 that were changed as it pertains to the parent copays. And then we have the new sliding fee scale, which is not pictured up on the screen. We're still trying to get additional guidance on that. But there's going to be one for the school readiness program and then one for the SR Plus program. So both sliding fee scales, once they have been finalized, they will be placed on the coalition's website, along with our copy of our policy regarding waiving parent copayments as required by DEL. Are there any questions?
No questions as of right now.
Okay, so I will turn it back over to you, and please feel free to contact us anytime if you have any questions.
Thank you so much. All right. Okay. And when you look at your handouts, it's called the SR Parent Copay Update Packet. It is the update packet because we're still receiving more updates. So once we is there in case you're looking. All right. Next on the agenda is Miss Janet Honor. But before we get to Miss Janet Honor, because I've had several people asking me, this is what the VPK Educator Academy looks like when you get to that, and that's the login right there. And for those of you that were reaching out, I specifically responded to you, but it's also in the chat. Okay, just because we had several people asking. Let me go ahead and Miss Janet, you can feel free to take it away.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everybody. I do want to stress that with Educator Academy, you will need your DCF student ID number. Um, so make sure that you have that on hand once you are enrolling in Educators Academy. Okay. All right. So now getting into VPK, we're now in the part of VPK where we're going into summer. So with summer VPK, progress monitoring still goes on. And with summer, it's only PM1 and PM3. PM1, that is due the first 10 instructional days, and PM3 is the last 10 instructional days of the VPK class schedule. So be sure that you are making sure that you're testing your students on time. There was an update to the Summer Renaissance um, login or link for Summer VPK. For those VPK providers that are offering summer, we have provided those links to you in an email. If you have not received it, please reach out to quality@elc-marion.org and we will resend that to you or make sure that you get it. Okay, and then moving on to the STAR Parent Report. This is still a requirement even with summer VPK. Please make sure that you share this parent report 7 days after the student has taken their PM test. This does not mean 7 days after the whole class. It means 7 days after the individual student has taken that test. And then I've already, if you can see in my notes, there is a link for the Renaissance Learning login. That's the link to the Renaissance website. Okay. Do I have any questions, Lily?
No questions at this time. That's what
Okay,
the
great.
website looks like, in case you're wondering.
Okay. Then, now let's move into 24-25 VPK programs, and they have already ended. Providers, please be sure that you make sure that you download and save every report that you can from Renaissance, because once June 30th comes and goes, these reports will no longer be available to you for those students in that program year. Okay, whenever you're monitored, you have a VPK monitoring, and we ask you for those records, you have to provide those records to us. If you don't have that, that can lead to a non-compliance. So please be sure that you're pulling the STAR Parent Report, the STAR Test Activity Report, the STAR Summary Report, STAR Screening Report, and the STAR Annual Progress Report. Okay? Any questions, Lily?
Not yet.
Okay. Next thing I'm going to get into is New Worlds Reading. This is a great program for our VPK students. It goes from VPK to 5th grade, I believe. But so for our VPK students that fall below and does not pass that PM test, they are eligible for free books with the New Worlds Reading program. So each month they'll get a free book. When in doubt, fill it out. So as soon as you have your new enrollments come in to the next VPK program, encourage those parents to fill out the form for New Worlds Reading. Your students may end up doing great on progress monitoring 1, but may end up falling a little bit below in progress monitoring 2. As soon as that child falls below, they are automatically eligible to enroll in this program. The parents will get an email in regards to New Worlds Reading. They have a few questions and a click of a button, and their child is enrolled in that program, okay? All right, any questions before I move on?
What was the name of the reports again? Can you email them to me
Look in your handout,
so
and
I can make
then,
sure I got
yeah,
down? Yeah.
look in your handout, and if you see in my notes, they are there. We'll make sure that we get them to you as well. So let me know who that is, Lily, and I will make
Mm-hmm.
sure that I email that to that provider. But we do have these reports in your notes as well.
Okay.
Okay, and then let's talk about the VPK app and VPK contracts. Ladies and gentlemen, we are behind. This is one of the first years that many providers are not submitting their VPK applications. Before your VPK contract is initiated, the VPK app must be certified. Please be sure that you log in to your provider portal and go to that VPK app for the 25-26 program year and start working on it. The VPK apps are due June 24th. We want to get our contracts initiated and certified by July 1st, okay? And I know that is pushing it, but the apps have been initiated for some time now. So I want you guys to be accountable for your programs, be accountable for your teachers, and the documents that are needed for each director, each teacher, each
Sorry.
aide or coach. So I'm not going to go through all of these, but just know that this is here on my notes for you. Please make sure that the background screening is current. Make sure that you have the good moral character attestation done for each teacher that is new. You already have an existing attestation already on file for your current teachers because their information rolls over to the next the next VPK app, okay? Um, make sure that you have the most recent copy of the DCF transcripts updated if you see that there's something that is going to expire on that staff member's transcript. For example, their emergent literacy requirement. If that has expired, that lead teacher needs an updated transcript, okay? If their FCCPC or CDA has expired, they need an updated transcript, okay? Formal degrees, make sure that their formal degrees are showing on their DCF transcripts. For our public school teachers, they need that reading endorsement. So we need to see a reading endorsement certificate with competency 1. We need to see that certificate. Just as we monitor you all for VPK monitorings, we're also monitored by the state as well. And we have to make sure that we are requesting and reviewing the proper documentation for instructors to provide instructions to the VPK students, okay? So just be mindful of that. So if your VPK app is rejected, we're going to give you a time frame to get that fixed. We're going to detail in the email exactly what needs to be done to correct the VPK app and get that approved, okay? One last thing about the VPK apps, if you have a coach and there is a coach that is coming into your classroom, please put that coach down as a sub. If you know that that coach is going to be in and out your classroom, sometimes covering for an aide for you, or sometimes covering for your lead teacher when your lead teacher is out, or even doing a demonstration or modeling a lesson, that coach needs to be added on to that VPK application in the instructors tab, in the classrooms tab as well, okay, with all their documentation uploaded. Any questions, Lily?
Actually, I do.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So the first question is, I submitted my app approximately 3 weeks ago and it's in coalition reviewing status. Does that mean I'm missing documents?
It could mean that you are missing documents. Once we put it in coalition reviewing status, what that's letting you know is that we are working on your VPK application. So if there's any documents that are missing, we're going to send you a detailed email to let you know what it is that's missing. It could be your VPK calendars are not aligning with your closure calendar on your provider profile. On the provider profile, you cannot be closed for the entire site, but then open on the VPK calendar. So there are some things where we're double checking and we're cross checking each other's work to make sure that everything is A-OK, all I's are dotted, all T's are crossed before we hit that certified button. Once the VPK app is certified, that's when I will then move on and initiate that VPK contract for you.
Okay. And then we have a question about attest.
I never say it right either. Take it apart. Attestation.
Does it need to be, does the form, right, that's the form. Does the form need to be dated July 2024 question mark?
Yes, if you have a brand new staff that you are hiring. So for your existing staff that you have, you don't need that new form because that does not expire. But if you were to hire me today, I'm going to need the form dated July 2024. Okay.
And I'm showing an example of it here on the screen for y'all.
Thank you, Lily. And we did put that in the handout.
Yep. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Looks like that is it for questions now.
All right. I do just want to share one quick note. When it comes to progress monitoring, I want you all to remember you all have different progress monitoring dates. Providers start their program at different times. Providers end their programs at different times. Some providers end in April, some providers end in March, some providers start August or start October. Therefore, that's going to have you guys all have different progress monitoring dates. When we send out our email reminders to complete your progress monitoring, you may see an email reminder that says progress monitoring 1 is due the first 30 instructional days of the program. Please ensure that you get your progress monitoring done on all VPK students. It is your responsibility to go in and check your PM1 start date and your PM1 end date. And the same is for PM2 and 3. Students cannot be tested early because when students are tested, even 1 day early before that window opens up, that data is not counted. It's not counted for that student. That means that you can have a possible non-compliance, or we'll provide TA to you. So I just want you guys to be mindful of that for summer and for school term, okay? Now I'm going to move on. If there's any questions, Lily, you stop me, okay? I'm
Yes,
going to
ma'am.
move on to school readiness. Contract reminders. So I'm doing the contract in batches for school readiness. There's a lot of providers and I'm having to reject a lot of for SR contracts. VPK is stuck in my brain, y'all. I'm having to reject a lot of SR contracts due to the holiday schedule. Some providers are not listing a holiday schedule at all. Some providers are only listing 9 or 10 holidays. You are allowed a total of 11 holidays. Out of those 11, 10 are going to be what you're going to be reimbursed for, actual holidays. And then that 11th day that you are allowed is a staff training day. Okay, so that description needs to say staff training day. Okay, it's because we have to track and make sure that you are selecting that staff training day and that you're going to provide that staff training day to your entire staff. Okay, so we're responsible for tracking that. Okay, if you only list 10 and your closure calendar has about 15 closure days, I'm going to give you a call and follow up with you and ask you, do you want to have a staff training day? Because the staff training day is optional. Many providers do want that. So if that is the case and you want to have a staff training day, I will reject that SR contract and allow you to update Exhibit 6, which is your holiday schedule, and put in your 11 holidays, well, 10 holidays and 1 staff training day, excuse me. Now, if you only have 10 days selected, because some providers only select 10 closure days for the whole program year. If you only have 10 days selected, we'll move forward with your contract. And then we can always go back and amend your contract so that you can add that 11th day. That's a little process where you have to update your profile for your closure calendar. And then once that's updated, we'll work on amending your SR contract to include that 11th day, which is your staff training day. Any questions, Lily?
Not at this time.
Okay, good. That was a lot.
Yeah.
And that is it for me. This is a record for me, y'all, because normally my notes are so long. So this is a record for me. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys.
Okay. So let me bring up this picture because the next thing on our list is Mary's tips, I believe. Yes, it is. It is Mary's tips. And Mary, you should be able to speak.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Okay, now I haven't looked, but I think Janet put the link in for the Educator Academy website.
Yes, and I sent it out to
Okay,
the individuals as well through questions in case they
okay.
didn't have access to chat. Mm-hmm.
All VPK providers, please use this link for yourself and your teachers who are going to be doing progress monitors with the children. This is the link you'll use to go get your 3 documents that are needed. That is the VPK Fast Test Administrator Certificate. That's the only certificate. And then the other 2 is the Prohibited Activities Agreement form that gets signed and dated by the teachers. And most important, the security agreement. Please, providers, at the bottom of the security agreements, the top line above the teacher's name must be your facility name as it appears in the portal and your portal ID number. This is so critical because there's been a lot of errors on the security agreements. These 3 forms for each teacher need to be scanned together. My name's Mary Brewster, my certificate, my prohibited activities, and my security agreement should be scanned together. These documents get uploaded to your portal document library, not to the VPK apps. When you log on to the portal, up at the top of your screen where you usually click on attendance, right next to the word attendance, it says documents. When you click on that, you're going to get a drop-down menu. And towards the top of that menu, you're going to see the folder that says 2425 Fast Test Administrators. That folder says 2425 because that is the year that these documents have started becoming required. When you get ready to upload for your teacher's documents, please name the teacher document their name and make it say 2526 Fast Docs. So as an example, it would be M. Brewster 2526 Fast Docs. That way, Cheyenne and I can recognize and open so that we do not have to open all documents that's been uploaded to those folders. And if you have any questions or need any help with that part, Cheyenne is at extension 201 and I am at extension 236 if you need us to help talk you through to get to that folder. And I thank you all so much for working so hard on these VPK apps, and I'm looking forward to many of them being submitted by next Tuesday. Please, 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 please. Okay, thank you. All right.
Aw. All right. And next on our list is me. So information is still coming in and we are still receiving guidance, but I just wanted to give you guys a friendly update as far as VPK accountability. And also make sure you guys are aware of the statewide VPK program administrator meetings that all VPK administrators are welcome to join. Literally, you guys could be getting the same information that we get all at the same time that we get it. Here it does have the child portfolio for transition to kindergarten link here. I also added that child portfolio to the provider packet in case you guys are interested in that. That was a resource that DEL provided. This meeting has, as you can see, the last one was on June 11th. They talked about the updated policies, the curriculum reviews, program assessment. They also talk about summer VPK, the testing site, and accountability. And at the very, very bottom, and this is in the VPK accountability packet, you'll see a spot where you can register for the meeting. And I highly encourage you guys to register for these meetings. And because you can hear from the coalition all day long, but it means a lot more when they can hear from you guys too. Because you guys are the ones that are in the trenches, so to speak, and have your everyday things going on that you can share and questions that you can ask directly to DEL during these meetings. One of the things that came about from this meeting is a flow chart letting us know that when the 45 days from when the program ends is when the Department of Education is supposed to release their performance metric designations. And then 30 days after that, provider develops those who require an improvement plan, will develop an improvement plan and will work with you. The coalition will receive the improvement plan and then work out whether or not you meet the requirements. And this is just kind of a flow chart of how those providers that may be put on a quality improvement plan due to the performance metric numbers or are on an incomplete, how that will look. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but if you have questions, I'm available, as it will be my team and I who will be working with VPK providers who may require a quality improvement plan. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of these resources. And of course, you have the proposed rule links And anytime a new role is open, please, 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 I encourage you to let DEL, let the state know what that means. There are some people that are saying, let me see if there's any questions. Just double checking. I don't see any questions, so I'm going to move on and show you just the transition tool that we got from DEL, the little portfolio. It's kind of cool. See this Padlet? See all the resources? That is so awesome. I highly encourage you guys to take advantage of it and share it with your parents. And then like I said, there's a child portfolio as well. This is part of your provider packet, and it goes into all the standards and everything. It's beautiful. Just something for you guys to be able to use as some of your tools. Let me see if there's any questions. Last but not least, I wanted to share with you guys that you have the One Goal Summer Conference coming up. And if you're interested in that, that is there. That information is there as well in the packets. All right. I hope to see you guys at our certificate holders, so I hope you come. Thank you, everyone. Let me just double check and see if we have any questions. I don't see any questions. With that being said, you can feel free to have 10 minutes of your day back. This will be recorded and put on YouTube next week, should you guys need it. Elizabeth, I'm being told that Elizabeth has something she needs to say. My bad.
Yes, yes.
Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Am I unmuted?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to remind you of a very important email that came out last night from our finance department, from our team, regarding your payments. So I want to encourage you to go in and for our school readiness providers, please go in and read that email that has been put out by our finance team regarding your payment. There is very important information in there, and if you have any questions, there is contact information to reach out to the finance department. And I wanted to kind of see if anybody had any questions as well while we were here.
I'm double checking. We didn't lose anybody, so that's the good news. And it looks like there's no questions at this time. But
Okay.
there is a thank you very much for the information.
We thank you all, and thank you to everybody that was able to make it to our provider appreciation event. It was so fun. And yeah, have a great rest of your day. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Hope I see you guys there. Come get your goodies.